I am a being from the ninth dimension. Hear my love and compassion flowing through my pores. I have a message for all humanity. It's true. There are no beings from the ninth dimension. Today we need to talk about something very important. And I'm hoping I have enough sunlight to communicate this message. And it's going to be centered on the Pleiadians. So if the Pleiadians are watching, we're on to you. But it also extends into other fake aliens, such as the Arcturians, the Orions, and the Draconians, and the Nordics, and anything else in the alphabet soup of extraterrestrial bull. Did you hear that? Bull! I'm polite. I'm from the ninth dimension. I am from the ninth dimension. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this? This is a big topic. I've discussed it before, but let's see if we can talk about some new stuff. There's lots of stuff to talk about. First off, I've been in the extraterrestrial business for 12 years. I have been communicating with advanced cultures, stellar cultures, since I was a kid. My earliest memory is 3 years old. So you put those numbers together. I've been in contact with extraterrestrials for all my life. But the last 12 years have been very intense. And there's been a lot of research, and there's been a lot of analysis, and there's more communication. So I speak from experience, I speak from research, and I have communicated with these people in person, up close, telepathically, holographically. I mean, in so many ways that it's absurd. So when I first woke up, hopefully that sound is okay. When I first woke up, you go through this process of purging old memories and old incarnations and bad programming and corrupt programming. And one of the process was, tapping into these ideas. So when I first woke up 12 years ago, I had dreams that I was a Pleiadian. And I had people contact me through the chat rooms to say, I think you're a Pleiadian, right? They're looking for people. And then I say, maybe I am a Pleiadian. And then I'd have these beings contact me that they were Pleiadians. And they have a message for me because I'm a Pleiadian. But, the more research I did and the more communication I had with actual genuine stellar culture, I realized that this Pleiadian thing is just another deception. Now, 12 years ago, I didn't understand it fully, but I knew it was a deception. So I moved on from that. I said, thank you very much, Mr. Pleiadian, but I like this other stuff. It's more authentic to me. It resonates with me more. And then somebody would say, well, you're an Orion. You're an Orion. And I'd say, well, maybe I am. What's an Orion? Oh, all these beings come from the Orion Stargate. So you go through this process, it's very convoluted, it's full of disinformation. So I've gone through the process. I've talked to Pleiadians, and they're not Pleiadians. They do not resonate with actual advanced culture, stellar culture. They don't. Of course, this is my research, this is my opinion. But I've been on all sides. These Pleiadians can be, now there's a list, they can be a magician. A magician can project themselves into anything they want in order to coerce and manipulate somebody. So, they can be a magician. Not everyone understands magic. Okay, that's a difficult one. They can also be a starseed. A starseed that has been trained by intelligence agencies, by cabal agencies. Now, the cabal agencies, what they do is they isolate people with psychic ability or psychopathic ability, and then they train them to be psychics. There are psychics working now who are there to deceive people. Your psychic may be deceiving you to spread disinformation, or they may be receiving the wrong information. So these star seeds who have advanced genetics and they've been trained by intelligence, they can mimic a star culture because the intelligence agencies have profiles of various cultures, and they amalgamate those cultures and create the Pleiadian. This is a Pleiadian. They have it in a book. The Pleiadian says this, these are the messages of love, these are the characteristics, this is how you should contact somebody, these are the people we've contacted. Make sure you update them on the disinformation. Make sure you confuse them. Now the same is going to go for all the other fake aliens. Okay. So it can be a magician, can be a starseed. It can also be another extraterrestrial. Now it's very common. It's very windy. It's very common. It's very common. Sorry, I'm getting on my glove. It's very common when you're dealing with advanced cultures that they adopt a disguise, that they do not contact you with their actual image. It's very common. It's just a process. It's just a process of engagement. If they contact you like, some kind of biblical figure, that's just to be able to communicate with you, right? If they contact you like somebody from your past, or your deceased parents, or your deceased somebody you love, that's a way of communication. That's a protocol. So let's say a dark stellan will use the same approach to deceive people. So they will come across not as their real race, but they'll come across as a constructed race, even a fake race. It depends on who they're contacting. If you believe in Jesus, they will appear as Jesus. If you believe in the devil, they'll appear as the devil. If you believe in Pleiadians, they'll appear as a Pleiadian. They'll say, "Hi, I am a Pleiadian. We love you. We have a message for you." because we are from the 9th dimension. Look at my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 digits on one hand, 2 hands is 10 digits. The primate and the human being have 10 digits. So I am on the 9th dimension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's pretty far. You're pretty high level, Paris. You're on the 9th dimension. Primates and human beings use numbers up to 9, up to 10. 9 is good. 9 is powerful, right? But they'll use 10 because the human being believes that 2 is greater than 1, right? 3 is greater than 2. So if I say, I am from the 6th dimension, and then people say, well, we are a 3-dimensional society, they are more advanced than us. It's just in a way, it's just another deception. It's another deception. So, if a Pleiadian says, I am from the 9th dimension, they are using human terms to measure dimensions. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because human beings are easy to fool. Now, if a Pleiadian or any of these fake aliens says, we are from the 6th dimension, or the 7th dimension, or the 9th dimension, they are using human terms, which means that they're human. That's the point. They're not advanced people. So I've been contacted by all these things, especially in my first few years. It's getting cold, you see? And they would contact me, and they would tell me all kinds of stuff. And I believed a lot of it in the beginning, until I figured it out. But later on, I learned how to see through the illusion. So if somebody said to me, I am from the 9th dimension, I bring you love and compassion, and a great message. We are watching you. We so love you, Paris. We have known all about you. We know the great things you will do. Blah, blah, blah. And then I will respond, hey, I am from the 11th dimension. And then there'd be this audible pause. Now, why is that important? Why would a 9th dimensional being pause? You're an advanced being from another 9th dimension. Why would you pause if I said I am from the 11th dimension? Right? Because you can only count to 10. Because you're human. That's why. You're a moron trying to fool people like me. You know, so there's magicians, there's these intelligence agents who have some psychic ability and psychic training, right? There's psychotronic devices, they can beam messages into people. There's electromagnetic devices that can beam stuff. There are psychics who can telepathically target people, right? Especially people who are receptive. They can identify people and they can target them. And they can, through practice, and they're trained to do this, they can send a message and they can manipulate people, and you'll never know. You never know. So I had different responses to these people, and these responses would expose who's behind it. Now, most of the time, it was a human. There was an intelligence agent, a cabal operative, a psychic. There are psychic groups that are behind this. There are magicians. There are magicians that are they're a bit more difficult. But I would use different methods to expose them. And after a while, I realized that they're all fake. And when I communicated with the genuine Stellan cultures, and I tried to fool them, they weren't fooled. So this is over years now of trying to figure out the manipulation. So these groups exist, and some of these groups, like the Pleiadians, there is an alien root. There could be dark Stellans, dark aliens who helped the intelligence agencies create this group. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, in order to deceive people. So that if they were discovered, or if people were discovered, they would say, "We are Pleiadians." Oh, is that why you're blonde and beautiful? You're a Pleiadian? So this stuff's been around for a while. Then the Arcturians and the Orions, all of this stuff, I personally, it's my opinion, until proven different, and so far I have not been proven different. I've even tried to contact the Pleiadians, and when I contacted them, they were not Stellans. They're not Stellans. They're not advanced people. Because I've met advanced people in person and in so many ways, and I've known them for since I was 3 years old. I have memories of contact with them. So I know what they're like. I know their culture. I know what an advanced being thinks like, and what kind of technology they have, and what kind of ability. I know this, and these fake aliens don't have it. Okay, need to sum this up a little bit. If you're still watching, there's another element I'd like to add, and that is genetic engineering. Some of the dark Stellan groups, there are negative ETs. We won't call them what they are. I'm not going to call them the lizards or the reptiles. The darker ETs. Okay, I call them Stellans. The darker Stellans. Early on, and this has been going on for a long time, but early on, they were doing some genetic engineering. So the Stellans would provide the intelligence in the military with genetic samples, right? Alien genetics. And the scientists wanted to study those alien genetics. What might have happened is that the cabal network took some of these alien samples and created a special genome, right? Or a series of genetic sequences, and they implanted these into certain embryos, right? They inserted these codes into certain embryos, which then replicated. If it was 60 years ago, 70 years ago, there's been 70 years of replication. Now those codes can allow the cabal network to communicate through the DNA to these people. There's a bloodline, especially a genetically modified bloodline. And that bloodline may have been called the Pleiadian bloodline. So that if you have some of these genetics, some of these genes, the genes are very small, they're invisible, and they could have been passed down through generation, or they could have been implanted by the military operatives, the my labs, who were doing this stuff, abductions, they were doing this. The network, using the DNA, can identify a Pleiadian and manipulate them to prevent you from getting in touch with who you really are, because you're not a Pleiadian. Or anything else. Now, who the races are and what do we call all these stellar cultures and races, we're going to figure that out in the future. But you have to be aware that there are fake aliens. I would call them the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Orions, the Draconians, the Nordics. And there's more, I can't remember them all. But anything in that group. And they're all fighting each other. Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to say. Try to be awake. Try to be open to it. Don't be fixated on these things, because you may have been manipulated. These fake aliens do not adhere or conform to the high ethics of the genuine stellar cultures, who are very advanced, they're very different. And this stuff, the fake stuff, the disinformation, the manipulation is obscuring the truth. Okay? And there's a lot of this obscuring. Okay.